What's up everybody, welcome to the life of a miniature painter. My name is Daniel. Today a unique opportunity presented to me, and that the opportunity is to repaint these miniatures. What you're seeing on the screen right now are my first ever painted miniatures. I painted these about 17 years ago. I had no clue what I'm doing. I just got some miniatures, I got paints, and I just started painting. As I said, it happened 17 years ago, and today we are just going to repaint these two guys and see how well I progressed over those years. Now, before we start that, we first need to prime them, of course, because back then, when I started painting miniatures, I didn't know that you need to prime the miniatures, so I completely skipped that part and I just painted over the bare gray plastic, which just sounds insane to me today. All started around 17 years ago. I can't pinpoint the exact date. Basically, my best man back then, we were just friends. He was a geek like me. We shared some of the same hobbies, and I wanted to get into painting. I wanted to try it out. It looked very interesting. We went to the miniature store, the only one that we had in our town, and I said, let's buy something. Let's split like this great box. We saw the Island for Skull Pass. It was a box of miniatures from Warhammer, like two little armies that you can buy and start playing Warhammer to get you into the Warhammer. Of course, we didn't know anything about that, not one thing. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, let's do that, because he's, as I said, also geek like me. And we bought it, we came home, I got dwarves, he got goblins, and I threw myself onto painting. I got some paints. Back then I bought Model Master paints, I think, and they were really horrible. They were not water-based, but based on a nitro or something like that. And they're really like fuming. So as I was painting my first miniatures, actually these dwarves, I can remember it like it was yesterday, and I kind of started hallucinating a little bit because I was huffing all the fumes when the bottles were open, and there's like a special fluid that you need to rinse the brush, and that also may create some fumes that are really intoxicating. So yeah, I kind of intoxicated unintentionally myself. We started painting, we started having fun, and while I'm talking about my best man, today he has his own painting studio, Rhino and Neville. You can find the link in the description down below, so go check him out, because very recently he actually won like honorable mention from Games Workshop about his army that he painted for Blood Bowl, I think. I'm not that very familiar with the Blood Bowl. And he's really excellent painter. He progressed way further than I ever will, probably, because he's really more talented than me, let's be honest. And yeah, go check him out. This video is not sponsored by him, but I would like to mention him because he's my best friend, he's my best man, and he's a great miniature painter. So he has a painting service. You can maybe ask him to paint some of your miniatures. Tell him I sent you, maybe you get some discount, who knows. So at first I wanted to like go more into the 40k than fantasy, but he was more of a fantasy guy. That's why he told, let's get this box like Battle for Skull Pass. And we actually found out when we got home, he got all the rules and everything, so he figured out, did you know that this is also like a board, not a board game, but this is like a miniature game. You can roll dice, you can attack each other. And I was like, what, really? And we decided to try it out, and we actually really liked it. And I can't tell you when was this thing happening, but we just started playing Warhammer, just the two of us. We started battling each other, we expanded our armies with more miniatures, but at one point we learned that you can like get different miniatures from different ranges, like you can, I mean, from different factions. So I liked how high elves looked, so I bought a box of high elf archers to companion my dwarves, and slowly but surely I transitioned completely toward one army, just to have a clear army without any like mixing and matching of different races. And I had my high elf army up and running really fast, and to this date, those high elves are the only army that I ever fully painted for myself. Now today I sometimes paid for commission, so I painted armies for others, but not for myself. So one day I might I might rectify that. But yeah, the High Elves were first army that I ever painted, so I painted everything. I was bored, I didn't know what to do, and then I traded them for, again, a gazillion of dwarves, and I never painted those fully. Eventually those dwarves got traded for lizardmen that I never got to paint it, and then they screwed up everything with those end of time stuff, and killing everything and creating Age of Sigmar, and we kind of lost interest for the hobby. But now when they said that the old world is coming, we kind of thought to ourselves, maybe we could get a little again into the hobby, into the Warhammer, and play it a little bit, because they are returning the square bases and everything. That's why this video is created. And yeah, today I mostly paint with contrast paints because the miniatures get done fast. Recently I started using also Vallejo Express colors, and this is how the miniature looks today. This is where I would stop today if I would paint this army. This is where I would stop today and call it good. So I kind of decided that I would like trade finished miniatures and that look decent for gray plastic anytime. So but today, because it's a special video, we are going to push it a little bit further. So we are going to go again a little bit more into details, put a few highlights here and there, and see how all of that goes. As I said, the hobby was dying down a little bit. Everything was we kind of stopped playing because Warhammer was not what it used to be. You from 200 pages of rules, you got to 2 pages of rules, and you should have been satisfied with it. So we kind of, I don't know, just stopped playing. We lost all the interest, and I switched my attention more toward the board game hobby. That's why this channel was created. It kind of spurred as a thing of a moment. I wanted to make a YouTube channel from completely different reasons, and I didn't know what to be about, so I decided to be about board games, and something that started as like half experiment sort of something just exploded into something that I'm doing for 7 years now, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, as I said, we stopped playing Warhammer because it didn't bring us any joy, as Marie Kondo would say. It didn't spark any joy for us. So I turned myself more toward board games, and we kind of left the hobby as it is. We never talk much about. We still hang out and everything, but we were like more into the board games. And as the years go by, I really missed the painting, so I got few board games that had miniatures. Now the quality of that plastic is sometimes really awful, but I thought, what the heck, I want to paint something. I liked painting, I like that aspect of the hobby, so I continued to paint the miniatures from the board games, and I really enjoyed it. I find it really enjoyable. It was it brought me back to painting hobby, and it made me look more into board games that have miniatures. And unfortunately right now I have gazillion board games with unpainted miniatures, and at one point they were all painted from all the board games, and now I just keep buying more and more. As I said, as the hobby grew, as I got this channel and everything, Games Workshop also figure out that there is untapped board game market that they could tap into to get some extra cash, I presume. And I started to get into those smaller skirmish games that they put out, like Warcry. We tried a little bit of Necromunda. At one point we also tried to play Infinity to replace the Warhammer itch that we had, and for miniature games, but that game just broke us with its own rules that were really too complicated for us to comprehend. We just lost interest because the rules did not sit well with us, unfortunately, and everybody says it's a great game once you go past the rules and everything. Everybody says it's an awesome game, but what can you do, right? So I learned a lot in the process of painting miniatures, of painting board games, and today I would say I traded perfect for done. As I already mentioned, I could like paint all my miniatures as I'm painting these two today. I could go into all the details even more than I'm doing this today. Now in this video I could go to even more details, but unfortunately uh, I would never finish painting anything. Already as is, I am way behind on my painting schedule, so I decided to trade good done miniatures for perfectly painted awesome great miniatures. And that's how this hobby is for me today. And with the return of the old hammer, the world of old hammer, or however it is called, it kind of sparked my joy a little bit more again for the hobby, for the Warhammer. And I'm really thinking about, because I have still some miniatures, I still have some lizardmen. Through the life I got again some miniatures, but I never assembled them. So this is a great opportunity to maybe start a small army, as we started to discuss, to maybe start playing like little games of 1000 points, 1500 points of Warhammer, just to get back again into hobby, but to not take too much of our time, money, because today most of us have families, kids, that we can't like live in a basement for 6 hours and play Warhammer each Sunday or something like that. But yeah, overall that's where we are today. And that's the story how I started painting. That's the story where I am now. I will leave you these last few minutes to enjoy into me painting this one and see the end result. And enjoy. And that is that. That's how they look today. Thank you all for watching, and do join me next time when we are going to paint something else, some board game probably. Pozdrav!